Hello to you all. This is going to be a look at my AK SBR, and it can also be a look at how not to try to work on your AK SBR. This is my first time ever really working on an AK. I got a Sega that I threaded the barrel, and actually it worked out perfectly. I was able to suppress it, no baffle strikes, anything like that. But I took a step further for the first time on this M92, and I had several issues. Several work is pretty horrible. I won't point any of it out directly, but I'm sure you guys will be able to spot some stuff out. But the most important thing is this thing runs. It's reliable still. I'm not going to use it for anything serious. But the most important part is it's a good suppressor host. It fires, it shoots. Accuracy is not an issue. A lot of aesthetic and accessory issues went into this, trying to work it out for the first time. But overall, I am happy with the way it came out. Next time, maybe I'll go down a different path, or possibly think I'll learn from my mistakes and pay somebody else to do the work. But I tried it this time, didn't turn out the best. Some things did all right, some things went horrible, but I'll let you guys try to find out what went really bad. So to start, some of the accessories, the camera, this is the host that it stays on primarily, well, all the time now. Had a little end cap strike with it, but overall this suppressor does well. The K&S gas piston and subsonic 762 by 39. This thing sounds quiet. I love just shooting it, and you just hear this bolt cycle back and forth. This is all you hear in your ear, and then the projectile hitting downrange. This does a great job suppressing the expanding gas at the end, which makes most of the gunshot report. The K&S is definitely a great upgrade to this. Siphoning off a whole bunch of gas you don't need, not blowback, and it makes it shoot really soft. Even with full power, Tula or Wolf, turn down the gas, open it all the way up. You don't need that. Nice little tap on your shoulder, close it almost all the way up on the subsonic stuff. Still really soft on the shoulder, no blowback, and very quiet. So some of the accessories I use on it is something like this here, the TDI Arms M-Lock handguard. I usually have it on here, but what is bad about it is I know the lockup on AKs are not always universal. So this actually starts to wiggle just a little bit back and forth. And what I've been doing is I've actually been using tape to try to get a nice tighter lock up here in the rear block, as well as up here behind the retaining cap. But eventually it just starts wobbling just a little bit. I should probably try to look to see if I can get something rubber, anything like that, to make it really lock into place. But right now I just have it switched back to the regular handguard. Also on these 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, these actually are not M-Lock slots. So on here, you actually only have M-Lock on the 3 and 6 and 9 positions. These back here, underneath, and again on the side are just lightning cuts, aesthetic cuts. Can't really lock anything in. I've tried with this. I use the Arasaka M-Lock mount with a Makoff device, MD2 flashlight. So on the tip, I use an infinite thread adapter. So I don't know what the thread pitch on here is, like M26 something. I'm not familiar with the metric thread pitches. And there's a little pin here. That's the pin I originally lost, which helped create this end cap strike. But now I have it locked in. Just spins just a little, that's normal. But then I have the ASR single port brake mounted on, some thread lock. And if you guys don't notice, you know, it's not straight, it doesn't matter because I run it suppressed all the time. I stained the wood furniture myself. Could have turned out better, but it's all right. Went to Lowe's, got some stain. I forgot what color exactly, but it turned out decently. The handguard locks up tight on here, other than that does. One of the best things on this is definitely the trigger. So this is a CMC trigger, flat face trigger. I also put one in my Sega. That is a curved face trigger though. And it's one of the best upgrades on AK you can get. So one thing between an AK trigger and an AR trigger, it's not going to be as clean, crisp, or have that defined wall. Regardless of that, it's still a very nice trigger. Right there. And the short reset is what I really like. And the pull again, see, it's not really clean. You don't run into a wall. Kind of catches you by surprise, but still a nice trigger. Accessories include the Tango down grip, Manticore arm stock, the triangle folder, and on the other side, I have the AK master mount rail and optic mount. So because everything was already going horribly wrong, I was not going to try to put some rivets in and do an optic mount. And I saw this product. What it actually does is uses the trigger pin screws. They're actually hex screws. So I can actually use those, tighten those up with a little Allen key, and it actually puts on the optic mount right here with the use of the screws, and I don't actually need any rivets or anything. Now, the bad part about this is you can see is that the hinge for the stock gets in the way, and I cannot take the optic mount off without taking the stock off, and I cannot take the top cover off without taking the optic mount off. So now if I want to change the gas piston, got to take this off, got to take this off, then got to take that off. This actually hinges. Some AK models, you know, it actually just comes off, but this actually hinges up on the M92. So kind of a little mess here if I want to adjust the gas piston system. If it's like a regular AK, no KNS system, not really an issue. You don't really do that often unless to clean it. But if I want to switch it back and forth between different ammo types, I do have to do that. So as of right now, I just have it set up for supersonic ammo, so it's all the way open. And if I ever do want to switch it back to fire, some subsonic ammo, take this off, take that off. But as far as this goes, I have it thread locked on, no issues, not wiggling, not coming off. This right here actually mounts, that's good. Nice lockup, haven't noticed it wiggling, wobbling, any effect of my zero. And I'm using the Trijicon RMR as my optic on here. Nice, small, light, works well on this rifle. Given the many mistakes, flaws this rifle has, I still really like it. Number one, it's still a great suppressor host. I like it more than 300 Blackout out of AR. I just really enjoy shooting AK, charging the slide, changing the magazines, all that. It is a great suppressed experience, much better than the AR. I promise you that. Even with all the mistakes, it's still reliable. Shoots, it's accurate, no issues there. So even though everything I messed up on the outside, it's still good to go. It's not a problem child, anything like that. I am looking to get a 74 variant. I have two 47 variants, so hopefully my next time around I do a much better job. But the AK is just a great platform. And hopefully I learn my lesson. I'll probably still try to do a lot of stuff myself, or hopefully just get one in a configuration I like and I don't have to do a whole bunch of shoddy homework once I take possession of it. But appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully I'll have a newer, better, more pristine AK SBR to show you here in the future. Thanks for watching.